Hello everyone, and welcome to Zelda Speedruns. Today we've got another match of the Link to the Past Randomizer Challenge Cup 2023. This is brackets round 2 between RickyofKokiri and JuBer, game 3. I'm starting with me on comms today is Wes. How are you doing?
Doing all right. This is going to be fun. Excuse me. Apparently, no, I'm not doing all right. Wow. All right, and we're hitting the ground running. As I was trying to say before my body tried to kill me, this is a game 3. Win, and you're into the round of 16. Lose, and your challenge cup is done. Looks like we've got a MC boss shuffle today, so that's going to be all keys are shuffled, all compasses are shuffled, and all maps are nope, just maps and compasses. I'm sorry, I apologize.
Yep.
And then boss full shuffle, which means there are the bosses have been randomized throughout the dungeons, and the boss that we will see a copy of have also been randomized. So we could see 2 Tridexes, we could see 2 Cold Stares, we could see 2, etc., etc. So we'll see how kind the RNG has decided to be in that regard.
Yep.
To our runners.
These guys got Fad Keys, which is apparently especially horrid, and McFoss and Open Hard in the previous 2 matches. Something a little bit different here. $20 in Link's house.
Yep. And both of them starting off with a trip to go visit our uncle.
And do you recognize the sprite that Ricky's using? Because I don't offhand.
Judging, like, I don't know for certain, but context clues, he did have the file name of Miko. So, maybe?
Presumably a character named Miko, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know any offhand.
And
I also don't recognize JuBer's sprite either, I'll be honest. As
I unfortunately do recognize JuBer's sprite. That is Clippy from Microsoft Office.
Yeah, now that you mentioned that, that's clear, but I'm Braveheart. And Compass to Eastern. Okay, 2 compasses by the uncle. Sure.
Chat, helping out looks like Reimu, is what they're saying, which I believe is a Tuhu character.
Gotcha. Let's see, Heart Container for Ricky and JuBer now. They're in the Sanctuary.
And as always,
wondering, this is Legend of Zelda remade for the MSU for Ricky. It's 8-bit remixes of Z1 and Z2 themes.
And as always, chat proving the maxim that if you want correct information on the internet, all you need to do is state very loudly and very confidently wrong information.
And someone will probably tell you off for it.
Yep.
I'll turn it up. Audio is low quite on Ricky's end.
Alrighty, looks like we've got a Houlihan coming from JuBer. I'm a fan of this, especially early in modes where we have easy access to the King of Scams. I mean,
that's a nice round. Well, that's actually really nice of the boss. Surprise Trinexes are going to be less of a problem today.
Mm-hmm. Now that I think about it, I'm not sure I would have done a Houlihan just yet. I would have waited until we actually did have access to the King of Scams, because we do still need to find, at the very least, a glove.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, JuBer going into the Lost Woods right as Ricky is coming out of them and going to be looking into Kakariko here. Now, this is another reason JuBer appreciates the money from the Houlihan. There's Hammer in the back of the tavern. JuBer's going to be able to see what the bottle vendor has, whereas Ricky's going to have to most likely leave it. Especially nowadays,
or hope for money, especially because he just spent most of what money he did have on some bombs there, as the seat hasn't given the money yet.
Mm-hmm. And also, again, another reason for the little hand on JuBer's side is JuBer also now has money for those bombs. So...
Speaking of money, well, there is 50
Nice.
bucks for Ricky. It's still 45 short, though. The Volleyballer charges a hefty price for his goods. He's not as much of a scam as Zora, but
well,
it's
to be
not
fair,
exactly
55.
cheap.
To be fair, the difference between what Ricky has and what Ricky needs is going to be made up in pots here in both the waterfall and blind side.
And, well, speaking of, there's 20 more bucks. And Bottle Vendor giving us 300. Not a terrible return on investment, actually. Speaking of
Alrighty
Zora,
then.
as we get our first sword. And a compass to Desert. The map to GT. Thanks. And 20 more rupees. We're fine on money, I guess. Never mind! We're getting a couple of nice items early. We've gotten, well, a bunch of compasses, a map of uselessness to GT. We've gotten Sword, Hammer, Ice Rod, all nice things to find, especially in McBoss. Map to Skull Woods is a bit more useful. The Bug Net is of dubious use. And the lamp is nice.
And
money.
So, you know, not the most useless Kakariko I've ever seen. Not quite a Stackariko, I would say, but
It's okay.
Yeah.
There's a sword for JuBer, and the 300 rupees for Ricky. A 200% return on investment, I think. Pay 100 to get 300 is one of the best deals. Is one of the better deals you can get. That's not just getting an important item off the Bottle Vendor. So
Yep.
I always appreciate it, at least. So they don't really want to go to Zora right now. No. They will be having money for it at the rate we're going. That's a sword in the library. Yipes.
Yeah, that's probably staying there unless boots are like right here.
Yeah, depends on where the other swords are too. As we find, that's a flute. Okay.
Or at least somewhere in the vicinity later on in the race. Like if they're on, say, cave, if the boots are on, say, cave 45 and we found a mirror.
Yeah. As well, though, having that flute is going to make it a little easier to get back to CAC in case.
Yep.
At this point, it's too early to say much about how the scene's gonna go, because Ricky's gonna head straight back up the hill to go to activate said flute, and then we'll see where he goes off to next. South Shore is, of course, always an option. You can check out this area of Eastern. You have mountain access, so not a lot to do up there at the moment without Mirror or Hookshot. And check again a little faster than usual, but don't have a book yet for that. And then, of course, there's also the front of escape.
Yep. All right. So there it is, the activated flute. Enter your rhyming phrase involving a species of bird here. And we are going to see what Ricky decides to do. And yeah, South Shore is pretty much the play here.
Yeah. This is the best play for density. There's 2 tracks here at the dam, 5 mini Moldorm Cave. Ice Rod Cave's a little nicer with flute. Game keeps giving us compasses. I think that's like our 5th so far.
Well, at least we'll know what the bosses are and the item counts are.
Yeah, that we will know. It would be nice if we could also get dependent crystal information, but we've gotten the grid sum of 1 map, and that was the GT. I think I've gotten 2 maps, GT and Skull Woods, and like 5 or 6 compasses, so definitely a little skewed. Speaking of maps, never mind.
A very soggy map.
Yeah, back to Thieves Town. I'm surprised it's still legible after sitting on the water for so long. So for the runners have been doing essentially the same routing aside from JuBer doing a Houlihan, which is the only reason he's any kind of behind technically right now. So they have all found the same maps and compasses. Their information is going to be identical for the moment. As in a mech boss seed, information is crucial.
Yep.
Well, because you can knowing if a dungeon is required or not, or as usual Ricky, or whether or not you're going to get the surprise cold stare is always nice. Surprise try next a little less rude. Speaking of Death Mountain, there's another mirror, another compass to pot this time. There's the boots. $20 and $20.
All right.
Well, that's our second sword, and a lot of Death Mountain open.
Yeah, I would be doing exactly what Ricky's doing here. I'd be fluting. I'd probably say go to 3, honestly, but nope. Never mind.
Wants to go quickly check this just so you don't orphan it.
Yeah, I suppose this is a pretty hard isolate here, so yeah.
Because if you don't do this now, when are you coming back to this?
Yeah. But at the same time, the seed is screaming at you to go check this stuff we just unlocked, so...
Yeah, that's for sure. As JuBer gets his collection of items out of Mini Moldorm Cave. Hey, Allison, thanks for the sub.
All right. Ricky deciding to do Death Mountain first, as opposed to grabbing the Master Sword.
And JuBer is going to leave Ice Red Cave behind and go pick up his Master Sword. I don't blame him on that. At the same time, Ice Red Cave is a bit of a detour, and we know that it will be nothing. Some arrows for Ricky. That reminds me, we do not have any sign of gloves yet. Starting to wonder where those have gone off to.
Yeah, I would assume we're going to find them here shortly. I'm gonna go say Paradox Cave. Oh, Bombos from the old man here.
Okay.
Let's see.
Needs to not die. Is down to 1 heart.
Yep, does manage to avoid the death cabbages.
And there's Ether on top of Spectacle Rock. Okay.
Yep. Second medallion
100
there.
rupees in Spec Rock. Here is also clearable. I think we found the map too. We found, I forget, it was a map or compass or both to it. I don't remember, but we found one of at least one of the two.
Ricky's tracker does not have a map marked for
Hera. Okay. Okay, yep, and confirm that's compass, and...
Othula.
Thank you. I cannot identify boss icons on maps for the life of me.
I can do it if I'm actually paying attention when a map check occurs. Like, if I'm watching as soon as they open the map, I can usually tell. But if it's, like, in the middle of the process, I'm like,
And Ricky just gonna take the death there. That is intentional to get his health back. Makes sense. But well, this is not a bad boss to get. One of the nicer ones you can get on Molder Marina, because the boss itself is fine. It's the room that sucks in vanilla.
Yep, I was about to say. One of the primary things I will always say when we're going into Skull Woods in a non-boss shuffle is now it's time to fight a room that just happens to have a giant moth flying around.
Pretty much. Because it's the spikes and this moving floor and everything else that makes Moth a really tough fight in non-boss shuffle modes. And that Moth itself is fine. Whacked with the hammer a few times and the Moth goes down. There's a shield, which we don't need. I have no idea what JuBer's Dark World sprite is.
It is, in fact, Bonzi Buddy, yes. And any child of the internet 90s and early 2000s is just, yeah.
I am afraid I am a little too young to recognize that. I do recognize Clippy from seeing the sprite, but other than that, not particularly. Alright, Moth is regular old little bit oranger than usual, because you do get a little bit of a color shuffle often as well with the Boss Miser. And yep, mouth goes down, a couple whacks the hammer, and we do have an item in the basement because we found a small key in the big chest.
And green pendant.
Okay, I guess I can check Saha when they go for the eastern area, if that turns out to be their progression. Because Hera did not turn up much. We'll see if they do the basement. They do have a lamp for it. And that's enough for Ricky.
Ricky's sprite is Reimu, according to chat. Because neither of us recognized it.
Nope. $20 on the floating island. Mouths down for JuBer.
Yeah, for those who are too young to remember, Bonzi Buddy is it was basically the one of the four horsemen of the like the early spyware, malware, like adware plague on that kind of took over the internet for a while.
Yep. No Hero basement from either runner, so we're gonna be they're probably both going to hope that is nothing. Bismic Boss, they did find the small cookie, so it doesn't lock itself. So let's see.
Hey, look, Glove and
access.
Paradox Cave.
Also, more compasses.
Yep. Called it, by the way. Alright, there's
Yes,
Master
indeed.
Sword there. Map of Desert.
And I'm jealous. Alright, Master Sword and, well, Master Sword for Ricky, they'll be tempered for JuBer. And out the Dark World we go.
With what
Hopefully.
Moon Pearl?
Although, oh wait, no, I forgot, we don't have a Moon Pearl. Duh, that would be a problem. We can get to the Dark World, just can't do much in it. Now we are going to see back at Escape instead, though, for Ricky. Let's see, JuBer's going to get his items from here. Pick up his tempered. Yeah, and let's see what's back here for Ricky. Got 3 bombs, $20, and $50.
Alrighty. Let's see here. Oh, Ricky doing Bonk Rocks.
Yep, JuBer
the-
following him right over there.
The other sword is sitting on the library bookshelf.
Yep, and there's Moon Pearl. So never mind that. Ricky has seen his temperate sword, he just hasn't picked it up yet.
I would imagine he's going to be picking it up very shortly because he's going to be doing Dark World checks and more than likely going into Southern Dark World, where he's going to be able to just very quickly mirror and grab real quick.
Oh, I've got Lumberjack check here for Ricky.
For JuBer, you mean?
And JuBer, and that is a map they're not gonna get. They are not doing AGA 1 just for a map.
Yeah. Information is crucial in an MC boss sheet, not that crucial.
No, you're not gonna spend a good, 3 or 4 minutes just for that? Maybe a bit more. I'm a little worried trying to count how long AGA Tower takes, but it's a good few minutes, and it's not worth it.
It
Yes,
is in
it is
fact
MC
MC boss.
I don't remember what dungeon items we've gotten for. Okay, we got the map for Skulls. I think we've gotten one of the map for Compass, and it's the Compass or map. Sorry for Skullwoods, which is a crystal, and that's a death for Ricky.
There we go. I was about to say,
that's
we have medallions to take care of this. I would say I would probably go with Ether, simply because it's a slightly quicker animation, but there's something to be said for the satisfaction of just bombosing a room you don't want to deal with.
Oh, for sure. Ricky, not far behind here. 10 bombs, okay.
Alright, grabbing the small key, and... Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, we're not going to go check the tail we can't open without Fire Rod.
Yeah, I was going to say, they can't go to the back west.
Okay.
Our container is much appreciated.
Yep, especially going up against Gibdos in close quarters on green mail. Not quite sure why JuBer is being so hesitant to use a medallion here.
I don't know either. No sign of the big key. It's either in the back or locking itself, I think, at this point, so we're out of here.
Yep. Alright, we're going to take a quick peek at Bumper to see if that needs to be on the back of our minds.
Answer is
Not
nope,
really.
just a heart piece.
Alright. Into Village of Outcasts we go. And I forgot how far down from the entrance. There's Flippers. C-shaped house is. So I was about to say, and out of the village we go.
Yeah, but okay, Flippers is interesting. Thinking we're thinking of that Zora discussion we were having earlier, as I'm now wondering where Ricky's going.
I'm wondering the same. Is Ricky going to current jump? But no, not just got Flippers.
Like,
Oh,
I'm surprised he just left the village entirely to go do Graveyard Ledge.
I wonder if.
I mean, yes, you can go do Hobo, Zora, and Catfish. I'm surprised he just ran out of the village without at least doing the chest game and and Desert Brewery. Also, yeah, current jump with the Flippers. Yeah, very interesting play from Ricky. Not one I would have gone for myself, but it is a play, as I also forgot we can do King's Tomb.
Yep. As soon as I realized, oh, this is what Ricky's doing, I just assumed these particular checks have been, important in their series so far. But we'll see.
We'll see what JuBer chooses to do for routing, because this could pay off for Ricky. It could be a bit of a time sink. We don't know yet. Shovel does unlock one extra check whenever he gets around to that, and JuBer is gonna head just straight on over without Flippers, so we'll probably not do the full route. I'd be a little surprised if he current jumps in his position.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, current jump is a bob jump you can do next to the Dark Witch Hut over here to get from west to east without Flippers.
Yep. So doing them with Flippers would, in fact, be a power move.
It would. I'm a little surprised if JuBer didn't actually just pick up that heart piece there, given he's only on 5, but okay. And first bottle off Catfish. Well, okay.
Yeah, Catfish just like, here, have this junk somebody else threw at me.
Yep. It does mean that Ricky can go turn that in with his sick kid whenever he gets back to the village. as Waterfall Fairy is complete and utter junk, and there's the shovel for JuBer. No, Nasagi, well, technically current jump does give you a fake flipper, since you do it on the screen transition the way you would, for example, South Ice Palace. Or South the Ice Palace portal in South on the frequent South Shore routing, single area on Zora Ledge. But the issue is that because of the geography of the ledges and walls in the area near the Dark Witch Hut, it's not very easy to hit that screen transition. The bomb jump is what allows you to hit it, because it's otherwise not normally possible. It's also named after a particular player. There is that. Zora, not a great deal. Well, not the worst, but there's better things than heart pieces.
All right.
Alright. 120 rupees there for JuBer.
Now it looks like both players are going to be returning to the Village of Outcasts area. Well, returning in Ricky's case, already there in JuBer's case.
Yep. Because he did North Dark World before routing over here, and as expected to not do the current jump. 10 arrows.
Into Thieves Town.
Which
It is a crystal.
Will be first crystal for both runners here, assuming the boss is killable, which it might not be. Because currently we can kill the bosses we cannot kill. We can't kill an Argus. We can't kill a Cold Stare. And we can't kill Trine. Oh no, we can't kill a Cold Stare. It's Argus and Trinex we can't kill with that Hookshot or Fire Rod.
Yeah. There's a couple bosses I wouldn't want to try and kill with our current loadout, but they are technically killable.
Yeah. It does help if they have tempered. Boss fights.
Well, JuBer has
JuBer
tempered.
has tempered, and Ricky knows where his is. Run with these down a complete and total bust. The Zytosaur enemies, those are Zazax, I think is what. Well, I think you're referring to the Zazax, Z-A-Z-A-K, I think is spelling. And to know in McBoss, you don't need to escort the maiden, because hi Cold Stare, one of the bosses you don't really feel like fighting right now, but, JuBer does have temper, it'll... Could be worse.
You've been pretty well corralled here. I believe this is a one-hit KO boss at the moment.
I will be honest with you, I don't know offhand. Very, very nice though, no hits whatsoever. That is going to be a heart piece in his first crystal, just under 27 minutes in.
Ricky deciding to look for items here.
Yeah, okay, the work clarify can take one hit but not more. Gotcha.
Yep.
And yeah, in boss shuffle as JuBer heads back in looking for the remaining items, so it makes sense, given he's here. You don't actually need to escort the maiden because, well... If it's anything other than blind, it doesn't make much sense, and they just keep it consistent even if it's vanilla blind in boss shuffle. You also don't need to bomb the hole, Ricky.
Muscle memory, probably.
Yep, happens to everyone in the class. Or any other form of boss shuffle.
Alright. Virtual high five here from our runners.
Yep.
Alrighty. Down into the depths we go. We have not found the small key yet.
Nope. It's either here or locking itself, I believe, at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And it locks itself. We'll see how Ricky does against the Cold Stare, as JuBer is gonna head for the back himself and get Blind Cell and then be done with this. I'm gonna expect to see them head towards Dig Game, K45, Stumpy, and the Shovel Spot with a detour for Ricky to get his Tempered, I expect. JuBer needs to not die.
Alright. Ricky going after Cold Stare with the hammer. Alright. Oh, well, yeah, Ricky doesn't have Tempered, so of course he would. Oh! Okay.
Oh, and takes a death. Ouch. And decides
And-
he is going to come back later, understandably.
Yep. I was about to say, he's like, he knows where his Tempered is. He's probably gonna grab that and just come back a little bit later when, it's a little bit more convenient. Well, wrong term, but, because it's really kind of inconvenient no matter what. But,
When he's at least got a bit better equipment. There's Quake on the Dig Game, so that is all 3 medallions already. We don't need to worry about that, I guess.
which is nice.
And as expected, this is going to be Tempered for Ricky. But that is a feels bad there for Ricky. Taking a death through that Cold Stare is going to be a couple minute time loss at some point eventually in this seed. Nothing much on K45, I think.
Oh, he's going right back for the rematch.
Oh, okay.
Alright, I respect it.
I guess if he's right here. Gonna turn in Sick Kid first, also makes sense. Heart piece off Stumpy. And let's see what the Shovel Spot is for JuBer. Bluebill certainly helps. That was a worthwhile detour. I told him it was the Shovel Spot while I was looking at
it was rupees.
Alright. I would take Bluebill there, that's for sure.
Ricky gonna
And
leave
by a
nothing
red
to
potion,
chance
too.
here. Yeah. Okay. So back in for round 2 we go.
Yep.
Should go slightly more smoothly, since we have now gotten a health refill and damage mitigation.
Damage mitigation and a damage upgrade and a attack upgrade as well.
Yeah.
Let's see, map the TR, $20, $1, and the heart piece. That's nah.
Yeah. I'd specifically call this like an attack speed and convenience upgrade, because the hammer does do tempered level damage, it's just a little bit unwieldy in most situations, whereas the sword, you can just flash away.
Yeah. Apparently TR is a pendant, and Pod and Swamp are red crystals there for JuBer based on the map check he just did and his personal tracker.
There we go.
Much better Cold Stare fight.
And Ricky, not too happy that he had to come back and redo this fight. A couple of rage slashes on the exploding body there.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Alright. Camper with a map to Eastern, which is a crystal.
Alright. We have a large amount of information now, just missing it. We are missing, let's see.
Ice and Misery Mire.
That's what the two are missing. Yep, thank you. 50-50 between our last pendant and our last crystal for those two dungeons. Quick card for Ricky.
Okay. Pyramid Ledge, Piece of Heart.
And Front of
Interesting.
Escape.
Alright.
This is a play. I mean, they can't finish a single dungeon right now. They don't have bow for Eastern or Pod. They physically can't get into Desert. They would prefer to have a hookshot for Swamp, no Fire Rod for Skull Woods, and they don't have mids for the rest.
Yeah.
So this isn't the strangest of plays. Certainly an interesting play, but I can get it.
I'd probably still take a flyer on Eastern and Pod here. I mean, especially because you do have the green pendant for Saha's Closet.
Yeah, I probably would have done that myself, but I do understand why he's going here.
Yeah, when you laid it out like you did, I was like, okay, I can see it now. But I think even seeing that, I would still like take a flyer on Eastern and Pod, and then if those did bust out, I would probably come back here. But again, that's just my opinion, and as kind of comes up sometimes. Those who can't commentate.
Very much the case for me. I am exceedingly mediocre at ALttPR myself, as I get another map to Pod this time, which we don't need given we have the red crystal info, and the source key was in the front, so we will be going to the Dark Cross here for our final item. You getting the info on the red crystals?
And Ricky heading over here.
Claytasham has a point in chat as well that this is the most efficient way for Ricky or for JuBer to route Front of Escape, otherwise it's a little bit of a pain to get back. Potentially, Berna gives a Spike Cape, I guess, for Ricky. And the Dark Cross was a bust, so Front of Escape not required today. And Ricky's gonna head straight on over to Pod, it looks like. I'll detour over here first. Oboe.
Yep.
And this is gonna be JuBer doing the Catfish Zora checks that Ricky did earlier.
Alright. There's the Eastern map for Ricky. Back into the portal, and now we're probably going to see the Eastern and Palace checks.
Yep.
Or, not.
They do want to find their boat before going in, which
Yeah, I get it. I do. I just... Alrighty.
Both runners backtracking over checks the other's already done. Ricky's also going to play the Friend of Escape, and JuBer is doing these water checks. Getting his bottle refill there, and
with a nice B+. Alrighty. So, I think now would be as good a time as any to do a kind of a race reset here. This is game 3 of their series here, best of 3 series. Tied, of course, 1 game apiece. Winner moves on to the round of 16 here in the 2023 Challenge Cup, and the loser goes home. They are doing MC Boss here, so the maps and compasses have been shuffled out into the world, and the bosses have been shuffled on the full setting, which means the bosses have been shuffled into different locations, and the 3 bosses that you would usually refight in Ganon's Tower have also been randomized. So we could see 2 Trinexes, we could see 2 Armos Knights, which, I mean, is vanilla, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Please make sure to follow our runners if you haven't already. Follow the Zelda Speedruns series of channels. And big thank you to our tracker, Direct2, for hitting the buttons on the trackers for us.
Yep. You can get all the links there in the chat to the runners' Twitches. Please do give them both a follow to my Kokon West, to our tracker Direct, and you can also get to see the challenge there in the chat as well if you want to see the current status of the brackets. We are partway through round 2, where we've got a couple of games of round 3 going as well. The winner of this particular matchup is going to face off against the winner of Yukikaze versus So Last Summer. We're also playing our matches this weekend, so to be determined on the winner of that. Male seeing his Burna, probably not most of his diet. And simultaneous flutes 5 means they're back to synced up now.
All right. Thanks for the bombs. Here, have one of them back.
Ricky not happy with that. Saha gives us, yeah, that's absolute junk.
And another one out the door. Understandable. Have a nice day.
Absolutely. Darton, yes. Custom sprites are or non-standard sprites at least, are a thing in ALttPR, developed by many community members. They probably number in the several hundred at least by now. I don't know the actual count. So you're seeing Reimu from Toho on Ricky's side, and that is Microsoft Flippy over on JuBer. So. You are also hearing custom music. Ricky is playing with the Legend of Zelda Remade MSU, which are 8-bit remixes of Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 themes. JuBer is playing with Street Fighter 3's MSU, I believe. Not Street Fighter 3. Street Fighter 2. Brains quit. Thank you, Zazie, for looking at the page with where you can preview the many sprites available. As there's Mitz.
Okay.
So, Todd Meyer are things to do now, I guess. And yeah, this rule set does not allow you to enter the pod without Kiki the monkey. It's not. Yeah, we run around. ALttPR runs under a modified. I forget if it's NMG or RMG. One of the two, I think.
I believe it's NMG.
Yeah, modified NMG rule sets. Big key vanilla for JuBer. And he's out here. Goes at the back, is Bill locked and decided to take his mitts and go somewhere else. I still can't tell what that boss is.
I wasn't paying attention, I'm sorry.
Vanilla, apparently. Merci, Clé de Cham.
Or
was that referring to the big key? I don't know, actually, now I think about it.
In FG, we were saying in MG, November Mike Golf, that is short for No Major Glitches, which is a speedrunning rule set for vanilla Link to the Past. Because Link to the Past is a very well-coded video game, as we find the Cane of Samaria in Harmless Hellway, hello, as NMG, or as Link to the Past is a very well-coded video game, there are multiple glitches that aren't really all that hard to pull off that allow you to roll credits on the game in, I believe, under 2 minutes.
Something like that. I know Ganonpot is explicitly banned for this reason. Even though it's mechanically quite similar to Herapot. And speaking of, I guess we might want to discuss the very interesting new glitch that was recently discovered a day and a half ago. Not present in Swamp Palace. You've presumably seen this one, Wes.
I have not, actually.
Oh, you have not somehow managed to see the discussion. So, someone in chat have a handy link for this. Another runner in the Challenge Cup, actually, Specky Specs, found an interesting new glitch that lets you skip the hammer in Swamp Palace.
Wow.
It's very similar to Herapot mechanically. You place a bomb, you hookshot it, you position yourself in a particular spot, and you clip the rail. It's like at the very front. It's a little silly. Has the Racing Council issued an official ruling on that yet? Because I know that they were debating it last I checked, though I haven't checked the Racing Council channel in a minute. No ruling, that's what I thought. It is provisionally banned under the ALttPR rule of it is banned until we figure out what to do with this.
Yep.
So it's also irrelevant in this specific race because both runners do have their hammer, but it is a thing. Someone in chat have a convenient YouTube link or something for us, by the way, or for anyone else who hasn't seen the link. But it's a pretty interesting one. Yeah, they also don't have a hookshot, so there's that problem too. Thank you for the reminder, Kidstein. And there's the fire rod in the back of Pod. Interesting spot. JuBer has found not much of anything in Desert, I think.
So, this is actually good news for Ricky here, I would have to say, because JuBer made the call to leave Palace of Darkness knowing that it was bow-locked, whereas Ricky stuck around and has Cane of Samaria, which means he's going to be able to go into Mire here. Yeah, has Fire Rod, which means he's going to be able to finish up Skull Woods.
Yeah, and JuBer was going to be looking for that bow before he goes back to Pod at this point, most likely, yeah. And we are running out of places for the bow, so it'll be interesting to see where JuBer finds that bow at. Dark Death Mountain's an idea. Unfortunately, JuBer cannot do TR without that cane, for better or worse.
And we have our first duplicate there.
Yep.
We have Cold Stare just hanging out in the desert.
Yeah. So that is our final Cold Stare of the seed as well. We will not see another Cold Stare again. This one's green, last one was kind of purple. And we have seen very few bosses, 47 minutes in. I've written down the 2 Cold Stares and the Moth, and I don't know that we've gotten info on any of the others. I know did a map check and does in Pod, but I didn't catch which. Now that it looks like a set of Landis.
I was about to say, it does look like somebody managed to catch a map check and notice Pod had Landmo laying in wait for us.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, Bo might be in Eastern, which would be bad for JuBer. Not the best for Ricky either right now, given that they both bailed out of Pod with
I just realized that. That's certainly a choice.
It is, and JuBer's gonna go and do the we don't know this yet dungeon. And okay, Myers are crystal and ice is a pendant. So this is gonna be a pendant ice play for JuBer without the cane, which is gonna be a feels bad here.
Yeah, I do find it interesting that both of our runners decided to do the front of escape first, and then choose not to go into Eastern, which is a very similar feeling play given the circumstances. I would say.
And similar item count too, given it's McBoss.
But we'll see how this develops, I suppose.
Yeah, Ice Palace had it here, though JuBer didn't know it until he got here. Gonna be kind of slow without a cane. Could pay off, but we don't know yet.
Well, I mean, if his bow is here, it's going to help him close the gap that is starting to form. If it isn't, yikes.
Yeah. Any idea what that boss is?
I was looking at Ricky's screen, I'm sorry.
Apparently it is a Vidi, according to his personal tracker, so lovely.
Yeah, I've been playing. I don't play much anymore, but prior to this point, I'd been playing Link to the Past Randomizer for a good long while, and I still haven't gotten as good at speedily identifying things on map checks as most runners I commentate on are. Like, they'll open the map for half a second and have all their stuff marked, and I'll just be like, huh?
Yeah, especially because you have to know where to look on the map for the icon, and they're really small. We crop the runner streams for restream's sake, but on the commentary page we do for ZSR we do view the runners' full streams, and JuBer's game feed is a little bit small. Pretty good cold stare fight there for Ricky. Much better than his first one earlier.
Yeah, that'll happen when you're double the health.
Yeah. No, effectively quadruple if everything else has blue now.
True. Alright, into Misery Mire we go. Remember that this is technically bow locked. Because by dint of the Cane of Samaria being behind. Well, no, actually. We could have gotten in here, we just can't get much farther than the lobby.
Yeah, the boss is cane locked, and then whatever else depends on. I think Compass of Thieves sound is entirely useless at this point next game. JuBer has found that and a green goo, which is not helpful to anything much.
Alright. Blow up those guys, and there's our powder.
Oh dear. Quest.
Okay.
Small key for Ricky.
Small key.
Use for JuBer. Okay, making good use of that cane to pick up a fire shield. Thanks, game. And if the powder is the only thing really of much of progression for JuBer in here, he is gonna have to hope that there's something on that magic bat. So far, not much in Mire either for Ricky, who has accidentally missed one of the torches. There we go. Start flexing the Francais R. Lol shift. For those who don't know, I am trilingual and fluent in English, Mandarin, and French. I do know JuBer from the ALttPR Francophone community. You may notice that I am pronouncing JuBer's name in a slightly different fashion to us here. That's a shroom for Ricky, so that powder is rather negated for JuBer. Unfortunately, so we'll see if Ricky actually chooses to do a fake powder for it.
Ricky working his way through Misery Mire as JuBer faces the boss you would usually face in Misery Mire.
Yep. A rather green cold stare. Not cold stare, Trinex. And not Trinex either. Friends quite apparently. Vinny, there we go. And yes, I did commentate in French as well for both ALttPR and OTR.
Not too happy with what he found in Mire there is Ricky.
Yeah, do we know the boss is there? Because he just left, and I'm a little confused why.
Ricky doesn't know... No? Ricky knew it was a crystal.
Yeah, he doesn't have a boss marked on his personal tracker either. I'm a little confused why he just failed. Should bail it?
Well, actually, no. Ricky does not have map information marked on his personal tracker for Mire. So he might just be like, I don't know what this is.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. And yes, bonjour, salut to all the francophones in the chat. I do recognize several. French is my third language, so I do have some kind of an accent. I don't know what it is, but it is something.
Go ahead and buying a blue goo. And now heading for Ice himself, looks like.
Yep. Did he not throw the mushroom there? On Ricky's side?
Does not look like it, no. Ricky also is about to receive the powder out of Ice here. Could have deliberately withheld that to possibly do a fake powder play.
Yeah. There are actually two unkill. Well, no, Fire Rod is. Okay, right. Ricky has Fire Rod to kill Trinex with. Scatterbraiding, and JuBer is going for. I'm going to take a guess and say Smith Chain at this rate. Smith Chain and Route. Smith Chain and Route Magic Bat with it. There we go. Brains quit a bit, apparently. A little surprised I didn't pick up the Smith before coming over here, but either works, I guess. Question, prefer ALttP or ALtBW? I like both. Have an exceptionally strong preference. JuBer has all his dungeon info. He does not need that map.
I have Link Between Worlds installed on my 3DS. I've just never gotten around to it.
Share.
Which, I mean, I can say that about a good high double-digit amount of games I have. I have it, I just never have gotten around to it.
I have a pretty large backlog of games to play myself, so you're not alone there. I think a lot of us do. I'm currently working through Link's Awakening Switch, actually, on my stream, so that's been fun. I'm getting ridiculously lost in it, but that's to be expected for me. My sense of direction is non-existent, and it is essentially a blind playthrough. I've been around ZSR long enough that I don't think there's a single Zelda game other than Tears of the Kingdom which I've been deliberately avoiding all spoilers as much as possible on. But I do know like the basic overarching plot of Link's Awakening, but none of the particulars aside from whatever I've managed to find out from my playthrough so far. Magic Vat is a heart container, so yeah, Ice Palace was a bust unless pets required.
Oh, why'd you have to put that evil on us? Oh my god. I
mean, what? There's not much that could be there, but I'm looking at our bow situation. Autumn Eastern are both crystals.
Alright, well.
And in chat talking about it, Link Between Worlds does have a randomizer. I know very little about it beyond it exists, but it does exist and they do their trust. They have a solution to the items being sold in all in one shop in the vanilla game. Obviously the rando certain commands down. I don't know particularly how, but they obviously have. So that it is shuffled the same way the items get shuffled in other Zelda randos. And Cleanasham has a good point. We're running out of checks. We've got, well, not our third shield from the purple chest. It's not the progression. We do have Spike Cave Eastern, first chest of Hookshot Cave, yep. Super Bunny as well, don't forget. Super Bunny's the thing. Let's see. We can go do Swamp, which is where JuBer's going.
So, I would like to bring up a point of order from earlier on in the seed. Both of our runners skipped Terror Basement.
Oh yeah, that! They might come to regret that decision at this rate.
Alright. Into Swamp we go. Hookless Swamp, gotta love it. Oh my god!
Really, game? Really? Why is that there?
French vanilla hookshot. Let's
in the
go.
First chest of Swamp Palace. Okay, well that was a play that paid off for JuBer.
Wow. All right then.
That is an item to find.
Still no bow yet for JuBer, this is correct, but Hookless Swamp is
Ricky
just
goes next, I think,
yeah.
really.
If Ricky immediately goes Hookless Swamp as well, then yes, it's still a problem for JuBer. But Hookless Swamp is just one of those things that you just don't think of. Honestly.
No, you do not.
Because it does impair your ability to get to the majority of the checks in the dungeon, because there are 4 checks hookshot locked in this dungeon. And then it also severely impedes your ability to get to the left side checks. Like, it's still possible to get to the left side swamp checks without the hookshot, it's just annoying.
Yep. Also, we were discussing mentioning the new speaking of hookshot, I was discussing the new hammer, the new clip to skip the hammer. Found the link for that if you want to go see it, Wes.
I will file that away for later.
Yep. And instead, Ricky is going to go. He does have Cane, so this I think will be a play to TR, which makes sense for him. Unfortunately, well, we'll have to see if it's unfortunate or fine. It won't get him his hookshot, and he's going to have to hope there's not an Argus in here.
Nice little bomb diver down by JuBer, by the way.
Yep, nicely done. And in Ricky goes. Or not, no. Remembering, maybe I should double check if my hookshot's just up here on Darkness Mountain before I go in.
This is another one of those locations where it's just painful to see hookshot, because it is logically possible. The logic does allow for this bonk
and that's
here to
a bow
this
on left side swamp, by the way.
Okay.
Also, this is Pendant TR, as chat notes. Yipes! And, yeah, that is no mode for us. JuBer is, though he doesn't know it, ineffective go mode as long as he full clears the back of pod when he goes back there, which I expect he will do. Red meal for Ricky, and,
Alright, well, this is definitely a momentum swing back in JuBer's favor. he is going to have to go back to Palace of Darkness, obviously, but Ricky is going to do pretty much everything in his power to not be in Hookless Swamp.
Which is turning into a clear of Pendant Turtle Rock here, and
yeah.
I'm hoping for his sake this is Nargis just so he can get out of here faster, but otherwise, yeah, this is not going to be fast.
Yeah, Al has been correctly pointing out in chat.
Ricky is being punished for ignoring the logic he broke. You're not wrong, technically, yeah. Because he got items for breaking his logic. That flare around in Samari did put him ahead for a while, but he's now ignoring that logic that he broke, and I mean, from his perspective, this could pay off, but it is also an absolute risk, as JuBer has now completed Swamp and picked up his third crystal of the seed. Oh, did...
Yeah, it sounds like we had a bit of a Discord hiccup there, but we are back. Don't worry, you didn't miss much. You didn't miss much. We were just kind of reiterating what you guys were talking about in chat.
Yep, about how Ricky broke logic earlier. It did pay off for him then. He did get the Cane of Maria and Fire, which did put him ahead for a time. Unfortunately, he's now ignoring that logic he broke and is doing, this.
Yeah.
Which it could pay off, which from his perspective it could pay off. We know it won't, but he doesn't know that. JuBer going back in the swamp to pick up the compass to Skull Woods from the big chest, and he's out. This should be a pot easier to play with that bow now. There's really nowhere else he's going at this point with his items, so he'll be fine. And yeah, Flute 5, he's good. I'm not sure what the Discord blip was, sorry about that. Yeah, I can only hope for Ricky's sake there's Nargis in here, otherwise... yeah, he's really not finding anything in here. That's not surprising. We have seen most of the items in this game, including most of the fetch quests. And both boomerangs, because those were side by side in Swamp Palace, because, why not, I guess. Ricky, I guess, might find silvers in the, find the other bow in here, which would be his first, but... it's the only seriously interesting item he'd find in here, I think, at this point.
Alright, heart container there in Mimic. Yeah,
And that's a try next in Eastern, so JuBer's gonna leave and go do pod and be fine.
I do wonder if this is a blind ped play for Ricky as well.
He might, as... oh, I guess he could have found... okay, I forgot Gold Sword was the thing he could have found here, which he just did. Lovely. Yeah, blind ped pull would be an option. I mean, he has done all of Thieves' he has done all of Pendant Ice for not much of anything particular. He doesn't know that JuBer made the same play before he did. There's a third bottle. So he might be just playing to the gamble to just continue with the pendant clears. Like, he knows that there's a decent chance JuBer also depended Hera. In the position they were in at the point when they went up that mountain, it made sense then, but Ice Palace is not as clear a play.
Alright, well, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that developing situation here as JuBer is going to clean up the bow lock checks here in Pod and receive the items that Ricky found out of logic earlier that gave Ricky the momentum for most of this race.
Mm-hmm.
Nicely done laser skip there.
Yep. And JuBer will be in good mode here in a couple of minutes.
Oh.
There's the book.
Oh no.
Speaking of pad... And last smoky. So I believe, let's see, Fire Up is going to be here in the maze on this bottom chest if memory serves. Yep. And Cane of Samaria is going to be in Harmless Hellway, and that'll be JuBer's go mode here. Probably about an hour 10-ish.
Alazun actually correct here. Ricky finding the other bow here would be bad for Ricky, because that's going to push him back to Eastern when he needs to do Hookless Swamp.
Yep. And good news, he just found an Argus. So he is out of here. He's going to not spend even more time in TR. So there is that, I suppose.
But what he is going to do is... Well, we'll see if he does it. Yep, he's doing it. He's gonna follow that book on Laser Bridge. So he's going to go do Ether Tablet.
Now that Spike Cave and that Hera basement, if he remembers those exist at this point. Ricky is toast, yes, unfortunately, as JuBer is now officially in go mode in hour 10. But yeah, go ahead.
There's the potential following that book gets Ricky to Swamp. Because obviously he's going to walk right by it going to Bombos. But as you so eloquently put it, he is toast. I was going to say too little too late. Oh hey, arrows for the bow Ricky still doesn't have. Great.
Yeah, that. Well, Allison said it just as first.
Oh yeah, sorry. I
but yeah, unfortunately, it is definitely too little too late for Ricky. Hookshot in the first chest of Swamp is just such an ugly spot.
Yeah, this is a very, very rude Swamp Palace, chinned by the algorithm here, because again, as we kind of touched on earlier, Hookless Swamp is just one of those plays you do not ever feel comfortable doing. So for you to do Hookless Swamp and get Hookshot in the first chest, first of all, you know, in the bombable wall chest, and then immediately find your bow as well is just a double kick to the groin. We are going to see the mushroom turn in here. Yeah, Ricky did get Butter Sword, but unfortunately the Butter temper difference is not exceptionally big. It's a 25% increase on combat power, which is nice, and he did get Red Mail from it, which are they're all nice items to have, but JuBer is perfectly fine killing Ganon on 11 Hertz Blue Mail and Tempered. He's fine. Yep. Chat has already asked, and other chatters have answered this, but just to put it on air, this is a best of 3 series. However, this is game 3. So it's essentially a best of 1 series, because we are tied at 1 game apiece in this best of 3.
Yep.
At the moment, barring anything completely and utterly catastrophic happening, which you never want to see happen to a runner, we are going to have JuBer moving on to the round of 16, and Ricky of Kokiri's challenge run, cup run will end here. But getting to the round of 16 in any tournament, or getting to the round of 32, excuse me, in any tournament in this community is nothing to scoff at.
Not at all. And Ricky is going to head straight to the back of Skullwoods here. This does make sense from his perspective. He's going to go kill whatever boss this is, assuming it's not another Argus, and get another crystal for his troubles. It will be his third.
Don't think Argus can spawn in this room? Question mark?
You might be right, actually. I don't exactly have this particular room's memorized. Because we haven't discussed this yet, but there are limitations on what bosses can appear in what rooms, as Breadcon confirms he can apparently show up in here. There are limitations on what bosses can show up in what rooms. I don't think you can fit a Vinny in here, for example, so you can fit a blind, because that's what's here. Yeah, you can't fit a Trinex in. Yeah, you can't fit a Trinex in Skullwoods, which might be the only one according to chat that can't fit in here. I know the Moldo Marinas are very restricted. You cannot fit. There are a lot of bosses you can't fit in either Moldo Marina. And there's a few others besides. And Breadgun. So Hookshot was the first chest in Swamp Palace. That's not the small key. And Bo's left side swamp, which unfortunately Ricky is not going back to.
Bread is a very good runner of this game in their own right, and I do believe if you wanted to know how disgusting that logic is to a runner of this game, you'd only need to look at Bread's reaction, which was, oh.
Yep.
That was like the bad guy in John Wick 1's reaction to hearing it was John Wick. Just, oh.
Yeah. And also, 3 bombs on pad for Ricky. Now, is this going to be a lumberjack check for him? I know JuBer did this ages ago, but I don't think Ricky actually checked that.
Yeah, that's, Yep.
That's where he's going.
You're not gonna like this, Ricky.
No, you're very much not going to like this.
Because it's the map. Yeah.
And that is crystal number 5 for JuBer. Got Skullwoods and Mire left. And Ricky hasn't done Smith Chain yet, has he?
No.
Ricky found his butter sword in Turtle Rock. He found that. He found a bottle and the book. That was what he found in there. Any memory of where that big key was for Ricky, by the way, in Mire?
Good question.
I wrote down the shroom, but I forgot the big key.
It wasn't a Godmire, remember that much.
Yeah, I remember the bridge was a small key, and that the mushroom was in the main room, but I don't remember where that big key was at. I know Ricky skipped the cutscene chest. Since he did not kill the boss, since he didn't know it was a crystal at the time. The road car tracker saying behind big chest. You mean the map chest of Mire? Not quite sure which one you're referring to.
Okay. Yeah, and again, it's just kind of a testament that Ricky is just doing everything he can think of that isn't Hookless Swamp. Now, that being said, it's also probably at this point an acknowledgement of, well, if it is Hookless Swamp, I might be in trouble. So let's just go off the assumption that it isn't.
Yeah. Which is an understandable play from his perspective, but unfortunately, will not pay out.
Yeah. Okay. Grabbed lunch, just leave it behind. That's due to a glitch in this, once again, very well-coded video game. The game doesn't check to see if you're carrying the purple chest behind you until after your iframes run out. So, there you go.
Yep.
That's not
Like
it at all.
And there's the big key for JuBer. Alright, let's get Bombo's tablet got for Ricky. Another heart container. Okay. Okay, apparently incoherent clarifying apparently that it's actually that if the thief NPC loads while you still in the follower state you're logged, regardless of how long you wait, it will give you the item. Interesting.
Alright then.
There's no time element you can be within like half a screen of him. Okay.
Alright.
He is back in Eastern now. He dipped in earlier just for a second to check if, and then found out it was a Trinex and promptly bailed, so he is now back and is not going to find a bow in here, unfortunately. I don't think, although JuBer did skip some of the checks in the back. I don't remember what the big key was, but it wasn't. But I know he skipped at least the big chest. There is a possibility for a vanilla bow. I just don't know what the odds of it are.
Yeah, if this is a French vanilla bow on top of French vanilla hookshot, gross.
And four-eyed Wildorb, okay, for JuBer. The number of eyes for Moldorm is randomized between 1 and 8 in Randomizer of all forms, and all Moldorms in the seed will have the same number. In this case, 4.
Probably one of the more dangerous rooms for a Moldorm to be in, too, because a good half of it is cut off from you without taking damage at the very least.
And I wholeheartedly agree, Night Sagi. Moldorm with more than 2 eyes is creepy. Yes, there's the big key for Ricky.
Right. Onward to get a bottle refill. Interesting.
Yeah, and Ricky picking up $5 out of the Eastern Big Chest. That was his 4th bottle as well. Question from chat in Eastern. He did pick up a bottle in TR as well. What little that's worth. So, looking at our collection of, looking at my list of bosses, we've seen 2 Cold Stares and 2 Vidi. So we've got 1 repeat, 1 Argus. No, we've got 1 repeat, 1 Armos Knights, and 1 Helmasaur left. For GT.
So we can see Helma on Moldorm 2. And Landmo 2, I believe.
Helma can appear on any of the 3 remaining boss rooms, I think. I don't think there's anything against you getting in Helmasaur on ice. pretty sure if you can get a Tridex on ice, you can get a Helmasaur in there too.
True. All right. Well, regardless, we'll see how that shakes out here shortly.
Yep. Armos, I don't think you can get on Moldorm 2, but it can appear in either of the other two. We will not see another Cold Steel, we will not see another Vidi, which does limit so our repeat, but our repeat could be any of the rest, including one of the two we haven't seen yet.
All right. It does look like Ricky is going to receive his bow, at the very least his hook shot, before. Wow, my brain just went completely blank. JuBer, my apologies. Even gets close to Ganon's tower.
Yeah. And he'll get his bow before JuBer it gets to Yaga 2 probably, depending on where that GT Big Key is. But this is a last location rookie. I think he's done everything else in the game.
This is literally his last location. Yeah. Well, he theoretically could have gone back into Mire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hera Basement also remains untouched.
Yeah. But pretty close to last location, as JuBer has now picked up his 7th crystal, and it's time for a little game. Do you want to tell the chat what that is?
Sure. So this is not a big key shuffled mode. So Ganon's Tower Big Key is somewhere in the basement of Ganon's Tower. There are 22 locations in the basement of Ganon's Tower. What we need from you is a number from 1 to 22. Which check you think it's going to be that contains the Ganon's Tower Big Key?
Alright, I've put in my customary 14. How about you?
I'll go ahead and say probably... We'll go with 6.
Sounds good. See a whole bunch of numbers in chat. No one's guessed the lovely 22 yet. Second bow could well be in Hera Basement. They could be anywhere at this point.
I don't think... I think the seed has used up its BS quota, is what I'll say. I think we're going to see a relatively early Ganon's Tower Big Key.
We'll find out, because you never know for sure until...
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, yeah. As much as I like to say things like, oh, the seed can't be this rude, it is still a randomly generated seed. It can absolutely do that.
For sure. We like to say rando will rando because it's RNG. You don't know what it's going to give you. And sometimes it just does some really silly things. Also, did Ricky rush the back without doing left side?
Oh, Ricky! I mean, he's not going to have a choice but to go back in, but...
He doesn't have anything else to do.
But yeah, why would you not just do it at this point?
Yeah, because I mean, hookshot only unlocks Ray checks and hookshot cube is the only other thing he can do with that hookshot.
Which point of... Oh wait, no he doesn't. Sorry, I was looking at the Light World map. I was about to say, point of order, Ricky has that marked off on his tracker for some reason, but then I realized I was looking at the Light World.
Yep. Alright, that was not check number 1, I think, there for JuBer. I didn't catch if he did Hope Room.
Uh-oh. Well, he does have... I was about to say he does have 2 small keys, but he grabbed one, well.
Sorry, I totally missed what he just found. I was looking away.
Well, that's a mirror. Oh, he's going Hope Room now, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Okay, right, yeah, you confused me because I was looking away for a second as well. And at 6 now... Loopy, 7 is a small key, and this is going to be going right. Going to at least going to right side.
Okay. Things out here.
Ricky pausing on that compass to Skullwoods and is going to go left side. Good. Don't leave, please.
Yeah, he had a brief moment there, but yeah.
You need to stick around, Ricky. You're good woods in here.
Yep. All right, 8, 9, 10, and check number 11. It's ridiculous. It's not even funny. It's half magic.
Yep. And is gonna go head back to left side, getting as many checks as quickly as possible, essentially.
Right. There we go.
JuBer having a little trouble here in this room.
Oh
And
my
check number
god!
13 is silvers. Check number 12. Sorry, I can't count.
Yeah, I was about to say
silvers in check number 12. Really good thing Ricky stuck around here then.
Gross.
Yeah.
Good old locked bow.
Yep.
Yep, there you go, Ricky. Yeah.
Absolute rage slashes as he is now officially in go mode.
What?
And check number 13 is the big keeper, JuBer. So Kellenberg, guess 13, you win. Kellenberg and Kudzleen both guess 13. Kudzleen first, so you guys are the winners on that one.
Yep. Which means, you know what? I'm feeling generous. So you've both won a lifetime supply of Link to the Past randomizer seeds, redeemable at ALttPR.com. Emulator not included, void where prohibited, and as always, if your standard seed lasts longer than 4 hours, please consult the YouTube tutorial as our gauntlet run begins here.
And we are not responsible for any distress or injury you may suffer while playing a randomizer seed.
Side effects may include hyperfixation. Wait. I give you the gift of time. You are all free now.
Ricky will be free from this tournament, unfortunately, after this race.
Jesus.
Memory aside, this is unfortunately the end tournament for Ricky. He will be eliminated here, with JuBer moving on to face the winner of Yukikaze versus Celeste Summer. Ray needs to quit with a French a bit, thank you. Yuki is also one of our Francophone community members. He's from Quebec. But JuBer moving on to face the winner of that match. They I believe, have their first game today. Game 2 over the weekend, and then game 3 TBD if needed. No, both games of the weekend, I can't read. Good heart refill here for JuBer, and there's our Almost Knights. How often do we get 100% trackable no mode in standard boots? Not the most often. This is also not standard boots, but that aside. It is not common to have every single icon of the tracker lit up in a most randomizer races. It just so happened that unfortunately, that hookshot was really in an absolutely gross spot for Ricky, and even for JuBer as well. That pod was not something he wanted to do for a while. You can see how full his tracker is as well.
Alright, that is an exploding boss for Ricky of Kokiri here. Gotta be grabbing, still has to do Eastern and Pod. Oof.
Yeah. He's done most of both. He has the big keys to both, but you still have to run back through two of the bosses, and that's a good couple minutes each.
Meanwhile, JuBer is heading for Moldorm 2's habitat here, where it is Helmassar King. Alrighty. Helmassar in this particular spot is both easier and almost a bit more difficult, because obviously you have a bit less room for the normal way of doing things. However, Helmassar also has a bit less room to move, so it's a little bit easier to pull off the bomb strategy, where you just throw 5 bombs to I believe it's 5 bombs to remove the mask.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm being told there's no world in which this is easier by chat. So, that's just like your opinion, man.
According to Ellison, in Ellison's opinion, this is one of the worst boss arena combos in the game. And chat can't see this, but on our tracker, from our end, we can see they're both runners' map trackers, and you can see that Ricky has lit up, has only a couple green spots left. Those being Eastern, Harrow Basement. I think that's Aka Tower over there, and TR Hookshot Cave and finishing pod here. Yeah, there's very little left for Ricky.
Alright, Geometry Wars conquered for JuBer, and we are heading to the big pig fight.
Yep. Nice skin laugh there. Let's see. Brains in a few different places. Right, so since that was a Helmasaur on Moldorm 2, the boss on ice could be anything. It was our final repeat. So we will never know what that was, and don't much care at this point, because here's Ganon. Temper of the Silvers, 13 hearts, blue male, half magic, he's fine.
Yeah.
Ricky saying something or another about... sorry, not Ricky. Ganon saying something about grains for JuBer. Ricky is arriving on his Lamos fight.
Alright. Nice and clean so far for JuBer. I'd have hit the button on the potion there, but I am a coward, so 3 out of 4 for phase 3 here. And oh, that's a Ganon fall on phase 4.
Oh, that feels bad. And JuBer needs a health refill too, because he's down to 1 heart.
Well, he had a blue potion, which, like I said, I was amazed he had, because he equipped the potion and then thought better of it, because he was in the phase transition from phase 2 to phase 3, which usually by that point you feel relatively safe that you are not going to take damage from Ganon. It's just sheer dumb luck, or bad luck, that he got hit by a fire bat, and then the control inversion caused him to fall down.
Yeah.
And as chat correctly points out, fairy inside the tree as well.
Yep.
And obviously, JuBer has no way of knowing that he is very, 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 pretty comfortably in the lead here, but that has got to be one of the most tilting things to experience as a Ganonfall at 1 hour 36 minutes into 37 minutes into a do or die race.
Yep.
And now in a very similar situation here, going into phase 3 with just 3 hearts. Little bit of trivia here. Ganon and both Aghanims have their patterns predetermined for the first time you load into their room. If you leave the room for any reason and come back, like say falling in the Ganon fight or dying, the pattern becomes random. Looks like the patterns were relatively nice this time.
Mrs. Torch Glitch does have a blue potion and silvers, and it's not going to be a particular issue. Nice double.
Yeah, all the bosses apparently have their patterns seeded on the first run, but it really only comes up with the two Agas and Ganon.
Yep. We have mentioned as well with points with script. Let's see. On some level, but yeah, otherwise not really. Although, anyhow, GG's here to JuBer, who's gonna take game 3 and move on to the round of 16. With an official race time GG time of 1:39:45. And understandably, that is an immediate I quit for Ricky. GG's as well. We are looking to get both runners for interview, waiting on JuBer to join the waiting room, and then we'll tow them in. There.
That's a seed where you just feel bad all the time. Oh, guess we're live.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, hello.
And we are now joined by both runners. GG's.
Thanks.
GG's.
What a seed.
Yeah.
It's just anytime I was expecting Ricky to be like dot done before I get 7 crystals, and the moment I realized, oh damn, I'm climbing, GT is not done. Did he maybe go for a TR play before going into swamp? And, yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what I did. Because I'm not great at pod key logic. So getting fire rods, Maria out of logic didn't occur to me. Those were out of logic. And I'm not dipping hookless swamp when I have all these other dungeons to do. So that's a whoops on my part.
From my part, it was basically I was desperate, so I had to do something that's not necessarily done by many players because I think at the moment when I went to swamp, I mean, I've already done Era, which is a pendant, which yielded nothing. I did Ice Palace without the Somaya. I was thinking, okay, either I go inside Mizramiah or I go inside Swamp. And I thought, hey, you just got the powder inside Ice Palace, so go to your Smith Chain, do that as well. And I think the moment I saw that the powder from Ice Palace had nothing, I was like, okay, well, I guess that's not only game 3 today, but that's also the end of Challenge Cup for me.
Yeah. Oh man, you guys actually both did Hera because early game routing was pretty similar. You did a Houlihan JuBer, Ricky did not. I think there was 1 or 2 other small things, but you both ended up on the mountain at basically the same time. You both did Hera, you both skipped the basement, you both went and found your glove out of Paradox, and then off to the Dark World you went. With the stopover at Von Crox for your Moon Pearl. But yeah, that Pod and Swamp really was a story of the late game. Because yeah, Ricky, you went to the back, you got that Kane Fire Rod, which put you ahead for a while because you had more things to do, while JuBer was
Right.
was a little low on chucks. And then unfortunately, you had a lot of things to do that were Swamp Palace, Ricky, which,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
When the two items I'm looking for are both in swamp, nothing else mattered.
No.
I felt really bad when I saw that fire rod, and then like 2 chests later, it was so I'm like, oh boy, this does not bode well.
Yeah, I kept saying on commentary that hookshot being in swamp is most runners kind of like, I wouldn't necessarily say nightmare scenario, but it's not exactly high up there on the list of, oh, this is the thing that's going to happen to me today.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then for the game to also immediately put the other missing link of the seed in an area where hookshot makes it a little bit easier to get to.
Right. Well, left side
It's just
swamp.
like, yeah, it's just like,
Which
well,
I've been developing a habit of skipping that lately, but by the time I got there, I was like, yeah, I have nothing else. I've got to do left side swamp. So at least I made the right call there after limiting my options down. But that was a
Yeah.
nasty seed.
Yeah, that was not kind. Let's see. Oh man, like the boss layout wasn't the absolute most trash as far as McBoss can go, but the items were just
No.
terrible. If anything, I was glad to see an Argus for you and TR, Ricky, so you were out up there a little faster. But
Yeah, that's
yeah.
true. I did also make a mistake with Meyer. I should not have gone to Meyer right after Pod. I was thinking, oh, I'll just double up the dungeons, but then I realized that if the boss of Meyer was Argus, I was going to go through the dark rooms for nothing. And
Mhm.
so I bailed on that, which I shouldn't have done. I should have gone Ice Palace first. And I should have paid attention to the fact that Samaria was not in logic anyway.
I mean, for you, the play to go inside Mr. Meyer does still make sense in a way, because that's a crystal that you can finish, except if it's Argus. But didn't you have a compass at that moment?
No, because I had gone to
Ah.
Swamp. The compass was also in Swamp.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah.
I just remember at the beginning of the seed, we were loaded with so many compasses.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
oh, damn, what's happening?
I see
But the
that.
funniest thing is that the 2 dungeons where we had the map, which were Skullwoods and Fifth Stone, we didn't have it, so it was going in blind there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that
Yeah.
Trinex was really, really nice in Eastern Palace.
Yes.
Because I go inside Eastern because I think, okay, I can finish Eastern and Pod. Also, I thought. So like, okay, I'm gonna first do Eastern because basically a straight line, minus the 1 check that's lamp locked. But if I get my last items, then I can just rush the boss of Pod. I go inside Eastern, check map. Nope, we're gonna do Pod first. Because I didn't have the fire at that moment. I was like, yep, I'm not gonna run 2 times in that dungeon.
No.
Especially since I had skipped it for quite a while. I mean, I don't remember when I went there. It was maybe around the 1 hour 10, 1 hour 15 marks.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, if there's anything there anyway, I'm done for. Because I would have expected you to go earlier inside Eastern. But yeah. This pod and this swamp, they just killed me. And then when you see the Ganon fall at the end, I'm just like, oh god, just don't tell me I'm just gonna get sniped because I fall on Ganon at the last minute.
Yeah, that's a really scary moment.
yeah. Yeah, I called that out on comms as well. I was just like, it's an hour and 36 minutes into this seed. You have to expect at this point, you're in game 3 versus in the round of 32 of a tournament. You have to expect your opponent is right behind you. So taking a Ganon fall there is heart-stopping.
Yeah.
But I gotta get ready for work, so I'm going to quickly say GG's to JuBer. Good luck in the rest of the Challenge Cup.
Thank you.
I-
GG to you too.
Thank you. I'm pretty happy with how I did. This is pretty much where I ended up 2 years ago, last time I did Challenge Cup, so pretty good pace for me. And yeah, I'm glad to be done. I can actually get back on restreams again.
Yeah, we
Silver
do
lining.
have plenty of matches left to restream, and
Yeah, so it's good that I'm out of here. Thank you everyone for the restream. Thank you Star. Thank you Wes. Thank you Daruk for tracking. And yeah, have a great day, everybody. Bye.
thanks, Ricky.
Basically, same thing that Ricky said. Thank you a lot for your time, for your investment, and commenting our race. Hope you had fun. Hope the chat has had fun as well.
Yeah, GG's, and good luck. Your next opponent will be either Yuki Kaze, or Celeste Summer. Any preference on the two? I know you know Yuki from the Francophone community, as we both do.
Basically, no, I'd say no preferences there, because both opponents are good. So, can I get maybe another branch of the tournament here? No. At least I tried.
Just can we get a reseed, please?
Jokes aside, it would be fun to play against Yuki because I played a few times in French tournaments, but I think I've never been matched against him. So it would be fun to be for that to be a first in an international one. Yeah, but for that Yuki will have to earn his place. So I'm interested in watching their next races.
Yep. Yeah. Any last thoughts, Wes, before I take us out of here?
No. You guys pretty much covered all of it, so I think we are good to send this particular one on to bed.
Alrighty then. So please do give both of our owners a follow, RickyofKokiri and JuBer. Their links are there in the chat. Thank you also to Wes for joining me on comms, and to Derek for doing our tracking today. Let's see. Coming up, you can see the challenge there. So in the chat, they did link that. If you want to go see the status of the full brackets. Coming up ahead on the CSR schedule, this is it for us in terms of ALttPR for the night. We do have coming up in about an hour here on this channel, we'll have the grouped in winners bracket finals of the Wind Waker Randomizer Mini Blitz tournament between Tomodachi and Mr. Mario. Tomorrow we'll have at 11 a.m. Eastern, we'll have the next ALttPR CC match. It'll be a brackets round 3 match between Lex Jess and Iconic. They'll be their game 1. We've also got another Wind Waker Randomizer Mini Blitz tournament match at 1 Eastern. The grand finals of the Zelda 2 multi-category tournament 2023 between Unos versus Light, tentatively scheduled for 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, maybe moved later depending on the exact time, decided upon by the runners, as well as our usual slate of weekly races, and of course we'll be putting more ALttPR Challenge Cup matches on the schedule as they are scheduled. Meantime, though, that shall be it here for us today. Thank you for watching all, and we will see you next time.